Beneath the quiet ruins of a cemetery, a lair pulses with an eerie green light. Inside, a witch named Clementine waits. Beside her, bound and gagged, sits Inferia, a young boy, his eyes wide with terror. Clementine drags Inferia around like a trophy, humming to herself. "This job's too easy," she sneers. "Maybe I'll kill the kid just for fun." As she taunts the boy, she idly twirls her wickedly curved dagger. Suddenly, footsteps, heavy, steady, unstoppable. A faint smile appears under Clementine's mask. Finally, she purrs, "Some fun." In the shadows of the ruined mausoleum, someone enters. Calm, silent, confident. He wears the full moment armor, his skeletal face a terrifying sight. Clementine grins. She sees just another overconfident fool, someone she can play with before she kills. "You're cute," she says, twirling her weapon. "But I hope you scream loud." Ains doesn't respond. He just looks at her, and that silence, it shakes her more than any threat. Ains takes a step forward. Clementine strikes, fast, savage, experienced. Her blade darts out like a venomous snake, but it's no match for Momin's armor. Again and again, she slashes, each blow ringing off his armor. Now she's getting angry. "What's the matter?" she mocks, too scared to fight back. Still, he says nothing. Then slowly, ever so slowly, he moves, just one hand, and the world changes. Before Clementine can react, he grabs her tight, unbreakable, inescapable. What?" she shrieks. She stabs him again and again and again. It does nothing. Ains lifts her into the air, his grip like steel. "You've had your fun," he says, his voice as calm as still water. "Now it's my turn." And with a terrifying slowness, he crushes her bone by bone. A stop, wait, no, crack, snap, silence. Ains drops Clementine's lifeless body. There's no anger, no triumph, just grim satisfaction. He turns to Inferia, who's terrified but alive. "You're safe now," Ains says, kneeling down to the boy. Inferia stares at him in awe. "Who are you?" Ains doesn't answer because the world doesn't need the truth yet. Not until he's ready to show it to them. Right now, it only needs the legend. Back in Irentel, the news spreads like wildfire. Clementine, the scourge of the city, is slain. The missing children are safe. The city is safe again, all thanks to one man, Momin. The Adventurers Guild praises him, the people adore him, and his enemies begin to fear him. But none of them realize they're not cheering for a hero. They're cheering for the future Overlord. In Nazareth, the Guardians bow their heads in silence. Their Lord has acted. His name is growing. His mask is working. And soon, all of this world will kneel. The battle was over in less than a minute. Ains had deliberately held back, wanting to avoid a massacre. But even with his restraint, Clementine's end was brutal. One thing about her death was certain: it would send ripples through the underworld. After all, she wasn't just any street thug. She was one of the most feared assassins in Irentel. Her demise would send shockwaves throughout the criminal underworld, setting off a chain of events that would change Nazareth forever. First, though, he had to deal with the aftermath. Using a spell, Ains removed Nyuria's gag and bonds. The boy was skinny, no older than 12, and his eyes were filled with a mixture of fear and awe. "Thank you," Inferia whispered, still shaken from his ordeal. "You saved me." Ains nodded curtly. "It was my duty as an adventurer to rescue you," he replied, hoping his lie sounded convincing. He didn't want to reveal his true identity just yet. Not here. Not anywhere. The truth was a weapon he would wield when the time was right. For now, he was Momin, the legendary warrior, and that was enough. Nyuria's gratitude was evident, but his relief was tinged with worry. "But what about my mom and dad? Are they all right?" he asked, his voice trembling. Ains knew that the parents would be frantic with worry, but he couldn't offer them anything more than sympathy. "I'm sorry, but they probably won't be coming back," he said gently. He hated having to deliver such news, but it was necessary. Better to face the truth now than to cling to false hope. Seeing the boy's crestfallen expression, Ains softened slightly. He wasn't good with kids, but he had a soft spot for innocents caught in the crossfire. "Would you like to come with me?" he asked suddenly. "You could live with my party. We'll take care of you." Inferia looked up, surprised by the offer. To be honest, Ains wasn't sure why he was making this suggestion. Perhaps it was to ensure the boy's safety, or maybe it was a subconscious desire to make amends for the harsh words he'd spoken moments ago. Whatever the reason, the decision was up to Inferia. As if sensing the gravity of the offer, Nfiria took a deep breath and nodded slowly. "Thank you," he whispered, his eyes shining with gratitude. "That would be great." Ains felt a surge of protectiveness towards the boy. Despite their vastly different ages and life experiences, there was a shared understanding between them, a bond forged in the fires of adversity. When Ains returned to the surface, Sebus was waiting for him outside the dungeon. Relief washed over Sebus's features as he saw his master emerge unharmed. "My lord Ains," he exclaimed, bowing his head respectfully. "I trust the mission was successful?" Ains nodded, his expression impassive behind his helmet. "It went well," he replied. "I have something for you, Sebus. Something that requires your discretion and loyalty." Ains handed Sebus a pouch, his fingers lingering on the worn leather. "This belongs to that child. Please ensure his well-being, and don't hesitate to use any resources necessary," he instructed, his voice low and commanding. Sebus accepted the pouch, his expression solemn. "Of course, my lord. Anything for you." Ains watched as Sebus disappeared into the bustling streets of Irantel. With a slight smile playing on his lips, he had laid the groundwork for a new plan. The first piece of his grander scheme was already in motion. Meanwhile, back in Clementine's lair, the news of her disappearance was just reaching her boss, a notorious crime lord known as Demios. He sat in his opulent office, a luxurious den of decadence and vice, surrounded by his most trusted henchmen. They had gathered here on this fateful night to celebrate their latest heist, unaware that their victory was short-lived. "She failed," Demios stated flatly, his voice echoing with disappointment. He wasn't surprised. He'd always known that taking on the so-called moment was a risky move, but Clementine had been his most skilled assassin, and he had high hopes for her. Nevertheless, he wouldn't stand by and watch his empire crumble. This failure only fueled his determination to take on the hero Momin himself. His lieutenant spoke up, his voice laced with concern. "Boss, are you sure this is wise? Momin is a legendary warrior. Even the kingdom's heroes fear him." Demios turned, his gaze sharp and unwavering. "Then we shall make him an offer he can't refuse," he said, a cruel smile spreading across his lips. "An offer that will turn him from hero to villain." With those words, Demios set his plan in motion, a trap that would ensnare Momin, a trap that would shatter his reputation and bring him to his knees. The stage was set, and soon the pieces would fall into place. In the days that followed, Ains's life seemed to settle into a comfortable routine. The incident with Nfiria had been unsettling, but the boy's presence brought a new sense of responsibility and purpose to Ains's life. He found himself mentoring the young adventurer, sharing his knowledge and experience to help Nfiria navigate the perilous world of adventurers. Yet beneath this seemingly tranquil existence, a storm was brewing. Rumors about Momin began to spread like wildfire, stories of his bravery and power echoing through the taverns and streets of Irantel. But amidst the admiration, there was a growing sense of unease. Demios's men were watching him, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. One evening, as Ains and his companions were enjoying a rare night off, they received an urgent summons from the Adventurers Guild. A group of merchants had been attacked on the road to Irantel, and the city guard was too busy to mount a rescue mission. Could Momin and his companions help? It was a trap, a cleverly laid ambush designed to lure Ains away from the city. And as Ains stepped into the murky forest, he knew it. His instincts, honed by years of experience, had kicked in, warning him of danger. But curiosity, or perhaps a sense of duty, compelled him to press on. Little did he know that this simple rescue mission would lead to a confrontation that would shake the very foundations of Irantel.